Hello students, welcome to the first lecture video of economics. Today we are going to discuss the first chapter, and this is actually an introduction to economics in which we will see its meaning, definition and types. Okay, so let us start. Understanding economy and economics. We should know that there is a difference between economy and economics. So let us see what are the terminological differences. So you can see here the three terms, that is terminology or terms, economy, economics and economic, they are different. So let us first discuss with economy. So economy can be defined as a system of distribution of goods and services with a view of satisfying human wants. So economy is actually an arrangement or system in which the various goods and services are produced and the same is distributed in order to satisfy human wants. You must have noticed that this system, distribution, goods and services, and satisfying human wants have been highlighted with different colors, isn't it? So, by system, we mean an arrangement. And this distribution means the production. Okay, first we do production and then we distribute the same through various channels. We will see in the later chapters. And goods and services are those items which has the potential to satisfy our human wants, and human wants are unlimited in nature. That is, the human wants can never be finite, or you can say or we can say that human wants are never limited. Okay, it is always unlimited. Okay, so now let us see economics. Economics is a social science which is concerned with the production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services. And it also studies how individuals, business houses, governments, or you can say economy as nation make choices on allocation of the resources, okay, for the production of various goods and services, so to satisfy the human wants, okay, and they also determine how these groups should organize and coordinate efforts to achieve the maximum output, or you can say the maximum utilization or the optimum utilization of these resources. So basically, economy is a system, okay, or an arrangement, and economics is a subject or a branch of knowledge which deals about the economy. Okay, so at first there should be the economy or an system, okay, or an arrangement. And if we study about the system, the prevailing system of economy is known as economics. Okay, so I think you have a basic idea about the difference between these two items, okay, economy and economics. Okay, so now economic. So you must have heard about this term many times, and many times people are saying you have to be economic. If you are spending money, okay, if you are too much in spending the money, then most of your friends and parents, they must be telling you that you need to be economic. You have to learn to be economic. So by economic, we mean that is related with economy or economics. So what is actually the economic, this being the economic? So being economic means you have to spend your money or utilizing your source of money for the maximum output. You can see here it is written to achieve maximum output. So by maximum output we mean the maximum utilization or optimum utilization, that is to get the best out of it. Okay, and also it refers that not spending your money in unwanted things. Okay, so now you can see here in this diagram that a person needs various types of things, isn't it? He needs house, okay, clothes, he needs the cars, food items, and other playable items. He also need the books and many other things. We need a mobile phone nowadays, isn't it? We need computers. We need nice shoes and many other things. So, have you ever wondered that how these things are distributed to us, how they are produced, and how from the factory these items are uh, in our hand? And now, how we get these things in our hand at the end, isn't it? So, in this subject that is called economics, we will discuss about these things. So, we will see in economics that how the goods and services are produced, okay, how the raw materials are converted or transferred into something different, okay, and those produced items, that is goods and services, are now distributed through various channels, and it reach to us, the consumers or customers, ultimately, okay. So now, before we start the discussion, let me tell you one more time, which I have already discussed in the previous slide, but still, let me tell you one more time that economy is a system of distribution of goods and services in which we will see the production also. Because without having production of goods and services, how will we distribute those goods and those goods and services, isn't it? So first, we should produce those items, and there should be the distribution. But before production also, it comes the allocation of resources. Okay, we have to allocate the resources, we have to find the resources. Okay, so if we study about these items or these issues or these topics, then it becomes a field of study, and that field of study or branch of knowledge is known as economics. So let us see here the next topic, that is the evolution of economic thoughts. So let us begin. Now, dawn of economic man. We all know that man as a social animal used to be nomads before. That is, they were generally the hunters and gatherers before, isn't it? So they used to go to one place, they used to hunt and gather food items, they used to consume whatever it was available in that particular area, and then they used to move on to the next place. Okay, so before the man, they used to do this. But this hunting and gathering was very much difficult, and many of them, they lost their lives. They died. Okay, many of them, they died, and mostly the fatality ratio was more of women and children, because naturally, if we see, uh, let's talk about biologically, women and children, they are not so strong as compared to men, isn't it? So they died uh, moving from one place to another. So it was very much hard, okay, for them. And ultimately, they discovered that the seeds of various fruits and vegetables can grow new plants, and they also discovered fire. So they decided to settle down at a favorable place and a very safe place, you can say. So we should notice that these civilizations, or the human civilizations, the four main civilizations, okay, many other civilizations are also there, okay, which are, for example, you can say Aztec civilization. So if you want to know about these civilization, then you have to study about history of the uh, civilization. Okay, but if you want to know more about these civilizations, you please let me know. I will make a separate video regarding the ancient civilizations. But let us discuss the four main civilizations which we have to deal with in terms of economics. So the four main civilizations are Egyptian civilization, Mesopotamian civilization or Babylonian civilization, and then the Indus Valley civilization or Mohenjo-daro Harappan civilization, and ultimately Chinese civilization. But if we see clearly, these civilizations are closely related with one thing, and there is one particular thing which is in common, and that is these civilizations were settled at the riverbank. Now, this Egyptian civilization was settled at the banks of Nile River, and this Mesopotamian civilization was settled near the banks of River Tigris. Indus Valley civilization by the banks of River Indus, and this Chinese civilization was settled at the banks of River Huanghe. So we can see here that how the man was now turning into a society. Okay, before they were nomads, and now they are converting to be a social animal. In fact, when they were nomads, they used to live in a group, but only those groups were associated only with hunting and gathering food. So there were no means of economic activities among them. So when the society was set up, they started to have the sense of economy. Okay, let us see more. Now, economic system in ancient civilizations. Now, let us talk about the economic systems that used to prevail in such uh, civilizations. Now, we all know that every individual cannot be specialized in production of the same type of commodity. Okay, and there used to be the distribution of labor among themselves. So some they used to be farmers, okay, carpenters, cobblers, butchers, weavers, okay, and some they preferred to make the utensils, okay. Some of them became only the traders. By traders, we mean only dealing with buying and selling of the items. Okay, and now at that point of time, money was not invented. Okay, so they used to exchange their produces, whatever they are producing. Okay, say the farmers are only producing the farm items, including the vegetables, rice, pulses or dal, um, bajra, okay, jute. So they used to deal with the farm items, and now carpenters they used to uh, craft various wood items, furnitures, houses. Okay, cobblers they are dealing with making the footwears. Okay, butchers, let us say that they used to deal with the meat shop. Okay, so at that point of time, money was not invented first. So how they used to satisfy the wants? If the farmers they want to have a house, now how they will acquire the house, because the farmers they are not specialized in making houses, isn't it? So now they used to trade their farm items with carpenters. Okay, they used to give their now farm produces to carpenters, and carpenters in return they used to provide their service by making houses for them. So this way they used to exchange their goods with each other. Okay, here there is no involvement of money. Okay, so they only used to exchange their physical good items, physical goods uh, for one good, and this system is known as your barter system. Okay, so by barter system we mean the system of exchange in which one good is exchanged for another good. Okay, so now economic system, let us see this economic system in ancient India. Since we are living in India, so it is very much important for us to know about the ancient Indian economic system in brief. So we all know that this ancient Indian economic system developed with the settlement of Indus Valley civilization. Okay, and afterwards we also saw that there are various evidences in Atharva Veda and Rig Veda that uh, the evidences are found regarding how the economic system was prevailing at that point of time. In fact, this entire Atharva Veda, Artha means the system of economy. Okay, Uh, so Atharva Veda, it actually deals with the economic system. Okay, so we Indians, we can proudly say that we have this type of book with us. Still, we possess the book, but not the original copy. But uh, in this country, India, this economy was prevailing at that point of time. But it should be noted that in other economic, this civilizations also, we can see this economy was already prevailing. Okay, in Egyptian civilization, be it Mesopotamian civilization or Chinese civilization, the system was already prevailing. But Indians, they were very much cunning in writing such a Veda called Atharva Veda. Uh, in fact, in Rig Veda also, we can find some evidences. Okay, and we all know that Rig Veda is the oldest Vedas of these four Vedas which are available. And even in Manusmriti, if in fact this Manusmriti is written by the Lord Manu. He used to belong to South India. Okay, so in Manusmriti and also in Arthashastra, written by Kautilya or Chanakya, which provides the detailed analysis of a state, how the state should run. Okay, what are the public accounts are already mentioned in detail by Kautilya or Chanakya in his famous book Arthashastra, which was written before around 4th or 5th century before Christ. But there are some arguments also about the actual date of Arthashastra, when it was actually written. Okay, but we all know that after the invasion of India no longer remained the same. Okay, before the invasion of this British people in our country, it used to be the golden bird. Okay, they used to call it the Sone ki Chidiya before, isn't it? But after the British invasion, we already have seen in history that they looted us and we lost its economic integrity. Okay, now even in archaeological findings, we can see the scriptures, manuscripts, utensils, even the coins. They suggest that Indus Valley civilization and Egyptian civilization, they were in good economic relationship. Okay, or trade. By trade, we mean buying and selling of commodities. Okay, so now from this slide or from this argument, we can see here that Indus Valley civilization as well as the Egyptian civilization, they both were interrelated with each other. Okay, so we can see that in ancient times only the international trade was prevailing. Okay, we already know that Silk Route was there. Okay, and in India there are nearly 12 main sites of the Silk Route. Okay, now let us see how industrial revolution affected world economy. Now we all know that this industrial revolution, it started in late 18th century, but it actually began uh, in the period between 1760 to 1840. Okay, some historians say 1830 and some historians say it is 1840. So let us take it to be 1840 for our discussion. So industrial revolution started during that period. So now industrial revolution, okay, this revolution, it brought some changes. Okay, and it was completely a paradigm shift which was only possible through the huge capital investment as well as the technological advancement. So, without having the huge capital investment, we can never have the technological advancement. Okay, for developing a new technology, we need huge amount of capital, isn't it? So, the capital was invested, and the industrial revolution, it was enacted through technological and advancement. Now we also saw the impact on technological, socio-economic, and cultural factors also, because through industrial revolution, British people, they colonialized in different parts of the world, and we can see that these British people, they uh, not only this they uh, went into colonializing the different parts of country, but they also spread their technology as well as their culture, and it affected the socio-economic scenario of that particular place. Now, it also brought change in production mechanism. By production mechanism, we mean a system or a method of production. Okay, and this actually it is of two types. Okay, one is called labor intensive and capital intensive. We will see this in later chapters, okay, or maybe you will see these things in class 12, I think, okay, and in microeconomics we have to deal with this kind of things, okay. So this production mechanism is of two types, that is labor intensive and capital intensive. But industrial revolution, what it did was it was a shift from labor intensive to capital intensive. Now the production was mostly, it was done on the capital intensive method, okay, instead of labor intensive, because in labor intensive we need huge amount of labors, okay, for production of any particular commodity we need or we have to invest huge amount of labor, okay. But when the technology was made available to us, they started investing money in buying the machines, okay. So when we talk about this capital intensive, actually we are talking about the machine intensive method of production, okay. And now there was also the agricultural improvement. Of course, the agriculture was improved because new machines were invented. Okay, for example, the use of water pumps. Okay, and also the use of machines, or you can say the harvesters. Yeah, it was developed in that time also, but it was not too modernized as we can see here in the present time. Okay, now it was also the time when international trade also increased. Actually, when we can see, let us just take the example of the British colony only. Okay, we can see that British people, they came to India. Okay, not only to India but different parts of the world, including be it America. Okay, be it in Thailand. They went on to this Vietnam. Okay, so at that point of time, they were indulging themselves in spreading the international trade. So for them, it was very much convenient because of the military power also, that they could internationalize their products. Okay, so movement of goods from one country to another country is known as international trade. So at that point of time, that is in time of industrial revolution, it was given much importance on such trade. Okay, and we also saw the growth of cities. You can say urbanization. You can visit Kolkata also. Okay, you can see many buildings have been, are still there. Okay, they had made various buildings, including Victoria Memorial. Okay, and the Writers Building. So it was made during the British people. Okay, British colony in India. Okay, and we also saw the change in consumption pattern of consumers. Before, they used to consume, before this industrial revolution, okay, they used to consume those items which were handmade items. Okay, handmade clothes, handmade other items. Okay, handmade food items. But after the technological advancement, or after the industrial revolution, they shifted or they changed their consumption pattern from handmade to machine made items. Okay, machine made clothes. Okay, machine made food items. Okay, so this is how the consumption pattern was changed. So if we discuss about this the shift from labor intensive to capital intensive production mechanism, We can talk about a German philosopher and economist, Karl Marx. He brought many changes. Okay, so he even talked about the labor improvement because let us say that for the production of one particular commodity, let us say uh, mm, let it be a juice, okay, a mango juice, okay. So in that factory, let us suppose 1,000 workers are to be implemented. Okay. Now, with buying of a machine, okay, uh, the amount of labors will be reduced. Okay, and also the labor hour will also be reduced. Let us say for production of 2,000 units of mango juice, 1,000 workers they had to spend around 8 hours of labor, but with machine the same can be reduced and it will also yield more items, isn't it? So industrial revolution also promoted the mass production, okay, or you can say the production in large scale. Now, what was the impact of World War on economy? So till this time, mankind has seen or witnessed two world wars, okay, World War One and World War Two. So during World War One, we all know that Germany was badly defeated at that point of time, even though they used chemical warfare, okay, and we all know that huge property was damaged. Okay, but at the very time, okay, many countries they went into bankruptcy, but United States, okay, America, at that point of time, uh, its economy boomed into a such level that they went into a 44-month economic boom. Okay, they were in the recession. Okay, so out of recession, they went into the 44-month economic boom. So by 44-month economic boom, we mean that economically they went ahead time. They went ahead 44 months. Okay. So after that, America itself it started giving loan to other countries. Okay, and got involved into the war. Okay, and at that point of time they also saw the need for modern technology. Okay, during industrial revolution technology was advanced, but during World War One they thought of more technology. Okay, they thought that more technological advancement is required. And during World War Two, we all know that Hiroshima and Nagasaki it was bombarded by America. Okay, under the operation called Trinity. Okay, they were about to drop one more bomb in Japan. That's why they were about to drop three bombs in Japan. So that's why the operation was named as Trinity. Okay, so they used nuclear bomb, and which is you can say a complete scientific advancement we can see in the World War II, okay, because huge machines were created, and we also saw the better and modernized weapons were produced. In fact, at that point of time, you can say Russia, okay, Germany, USA, France, they, including England, okay, they made modern and the better weapons compared to World War One. Okay, even today, many guns you can see which are still in use, or you can say that those guns are now modified into something different now at this point of time. So many countries at that point in during this World War Two, many countries they earned huge amount of revenue by investing in war, because war it actually it costs a lot of money. So any country involving in the war or entering in war, they need huge amount of weaponaries, isn't it? So they have to buy huge amount of weapons, and these weapons are to be produced, isn't it? So when this buying and selling of weaponry take place, the selling countries, they earn huge amount of money. And at present time we can see that USA, Russia, okay, France, Israel, they are the superpowers. In fact, America is seen as the main superpower, but these countries just now I mentioned, uh, these countries, they sell their weapon items to different countries. Like from Russia we buy the defense items, from Israel, from USA we buy the items, isn't it? How it is possible that they produce those items? Because it was the lesson that they learned in World War I, and the same was now modified, or you can say modernized, or you can say updated also, and they earned huge amount of revenue during World War II. And after the World War II was over, they had the nuclear this disarmament agreement, and the UN was formed. And after that, they talked about that there should be the economic welfare in the world, and the new economic theories were now developed. Now let us see what are those theories. Okay, so before we go into the definition of various economists, okay, many other economists are also there, okay, but these main four definitions of Adam Smith, Lionel Robbins, Alfred Marshall, and Professor Samuelson are seen as the main definition of economics, okay. So let me tell you that in economics, the theories are classified, or you can say uh, distributed into two categories. Okay, one is called classical economics, and the other one is called neoclassical economics. Okay, so classical economics, or economists, you can say, they are Adam Smith, Lionel Robbins, and Alfred Marshall. Okay, even David Ricardo is also there. Okay, he falls in the classical economists. Okay, now the modern economics, or the modern economists, if you talk about, then they are actually the persons like Professor Samuelson, Professor Crystal, okay, Professor Hicks, and also uh, Professor Nordes. Okay, many other professors are there, or you can say economists are there. Okay, but let us discuss the four main definitions that were given by the famous economists of our time. So now let us see here that these definitions are categorized as four types of definition. Okay, one is called wealth oriented definition, and the other one is called scarcity oriented definition, and the third one is called welfare oriented definition, and growth oriented definition given by Professor Samuelson. Okay, so wealth oriented definition. Adam Smith, in his famous book Wealth of Nations, he has defined economics as an inquiry into the nature and causes of the wealth of nations. So he talked about the definition of economics in such a way that it inquires about the nature as well as the causes of the wealth of nations. So only if he talks about the money, okay, you can see the definition is very simple, as well as it is actually the name of the book. Okay, this definition, in your textbook maybe the definition is given something different. Okay, if you see other books also, the definition can vary from one book to the other book. Okay, but I have used the name of the book only that he has written. So in his book he has talked about the creation of wealth through wealth. Okay, and other aspects of economics are left out. For example, the aspect of human wants. Okay, we all know that human wants are unlimited. Okay, but he has not talked about the aspect of want. We can also see that in economics, uh, there is a scarcity. Okay, the resources that are used to satisfy human wants are scarce in nature. So these are left out. And also, he doesn't talk about the human value. Okay, so that is why the Adam Smith's definition of economics is only unidirectional, or you can say monotone. Okay, that is why many economists have already criticized his definition. Okay, it will be very nice that if you can Google it out, or you can check your book also, that the definition that he has already mentioned in the book, it will obviously vary in your book. Or if you Google it out, you can see the terms that are varying from each other. Okay, but again, I want to repeat that I have written the name of his book only, so to take you exactly to the definition or the exact words that Adam Smith actually wanted to refer to. Okay. Okay. Now let us move on to the scarcity oriented definition. Now, after the wealth oriented definition was given by Adam Smith, then came Lionel Robbins. Now, Lionel Robbins, he said that what about the scarcity? Okay, because we are talking about the satisfaction of the human wants. Okay, we are talking about the relationship between the various this ends and the scarce means. We are actually talking about the usage of those commodities and the scarce means, or the you can say the resources. Okay, so what about the human behavior? What about the scarcity? Okay, and what about the alternate uses? So a new definition was then generated or evolved by Lionel Robbins, and he stated that economics is a science which studies human behavior as a relationship between ends and scarce means which have alternative uses. So economics is basically, according to Robbins, economics is basically a science which studies about the human behavior. Okay, by human behavior we mean the behavior of both producers as well as the consumers. Okay, in class 12 you will discuss more in depth about the human behavior. Okay, because this topic, this human behavior, is categorized into two categories, that is producers behavior and consumers behavior. Okay, now those resources which can satisfy our human wants are scarce. Okay, by scarce we mean they are limited. For example, the amount of land, the land is limited, isn't it? We cannot produce land day by day. The land is getting very much deficit for us, and the people are demanding more and more. That is why the cost of land is increasing day by day, because of its scarcity, or you can say its supply is fixed. Okay, and the resources, they also have the alternative uses. The same resource can be used to produce various types of goods. For example, you can take the example of flour, or you can say atta or maida, isn't it? The same can be used to make roti or chapati, but the same can be used to make samosa, okay, namkeen, and other various items. You can say noodles are also made from flour. So, uh, Robbins, he talked about the human behavior, the relationship between the end use and the different resources which are limited in nature, and its alternative uses. Okay, the same resource can be used for making various types of commodities. Okay, now let us move on to the next definition, that is welfare oriented definition. Okay, now after the definitions given by Adam Smith and Lionel Robbins, came Professor Alfred Marshall. He wrote in his book Principle of Economics, he talked about what about the welfare. Okay, ultimately we are talking about a science which deals with mankind, okay, a science which deals about the man and his relationship with society. Then what about the welfare of him? So Alfred Marshall, he came up with definition which involved both Adam Smith's definition as well as Lionel Robbins' definition, and ultimately his view on economic welfare of the society at large. So he defined economics as a study of mankind in the ordinary business of life. It examines that part of individual and social action which is most closely connected with the attainment and with the use of material requisites of well-being. So ultimately, he talks about the well-being of mankind. He talk about well-being or welfare of society at large. So Alfred Marshall, he is associated with the definition of welfare orientation. Now, in 1945, okay, the year when World War II was ended. So, in that year, Professor Samuelson, he came up with book called Economics. Firstly, the book was banned in America, okay, because many people they thought that this book written by Samuelson is actually based on theory of Karl Marx, and we all know that theories of Karl Marx are banned in some countries. Okay, in we are very much fortunate to be in India that we are able to read his books and about him. But in many countries, his theories are still discarded, and still in our country, we don't study about his theories on economics too much because it becomes actually a political economy. So we don't discuss about his theories too much. So the people of America they thought that this book written by Samuelson was influenced by Karl Marx and his theories and his philosophy. But later on, when they found that this book is actually a very nice book about the economics, then again the book was uh, available in the market. Okay, the ban was lifted up. So he defined economics as the study of how people and society choose, with or without the use of money, to employ scarce productive resources which could have alternative uses to produce various commodities over time and distribute them for consumption now and in the future among various persons and groups of society. So now you can see here this definition of Professor Samuelson, it includes all the aspects of wealth-oriented definition, scarcity-oriented definition, and welfare-oriented definition. So you can say that definition given by Professor Samuelson is four in one pack. Okay, it includes everything. It includes about the wealth orientation also. Okay, it also talk about the scarcity. It also talk about the welfare of society, and it also talks about the growth. Okay, because his definition it talks about the future perspective. Okay, so his definition is more growth oriented definition. Okay, so till this date, Professor Samuelson's definition is given the emphasis on this basis that it includes all the aspects of economics. Okay, so his definition is regarded as the best definition till this date. Yeah, it is true that many other uh, economists they also have given the definition of economics, which also includes Professor Banerjee. He got Nobel Prize last year. You know that, including our famous economist Amartya Sen. He also got the Nobel Prize. Okay, so including um, economists like Lipsey. Okay, he is a Canadian economist. So many definitions have come up till this date, but Professor Samuelson's definition still it has taken such a position that no one can deny it. Okay. Okay, now let us see the criticism of definition of Adam Smith. Okay, so now he has given too much importance to wealth. Okay, Adam Smith definition is only uh, unidirectional, as I already said that it only talks about the creation of wealth. Okay, how to create wealth from wealth. It is about the multiplication of wealth. Okay, and other aspects of economics, which includes welfare of mankind, about the scarcity, is not mentioned out there. Okay. Now, narrow meaning of wealth. Classical economists use the term goods like chair, table, etc. But in economics, we use the term wealth in a wider sense. Okay. So just having the physical items like chair, table, mobile phones, computers, uh, jewelry items, and other things, okay, in your house or having in your possession doesn't mean the accumulation of wealth, okay, but in the general sense, okay, in the modern world or in the modern economy, we use wealth in a very wider sense. Okay, it includes about the welfare also. Okay, but the classical economist like Adam Smith, he only talked about the material good items. Okay, and the concept of economic man. So, according to him, Adam Smith, mankind worked for self-interest. His social interest is ignored, and Dr. Marshall was one of the view, that is Professor Marshall, that economics we studied in an ordinary man and woman. So he did not talk about the welfare. Again, this Adam Smith's definition is again criticized on the grounds of welfare. So, what do we mean by economic man? Okay, now let me give you an example of a restaurant. Okay, so in a restaurant, you go and eat food. Okay, so the restaurant, okay, the shopkeeper or the owner, he or she doesn't sell you the food items so that you can devour your appetite. Okay, he or she sell the food items so that they can earn their livelihood. Okay, so the concept of economic man is thus generated by our father of economics, that is Adam Smith. Okay, and we also and we should also know that Adam Smith is regarded as the father of economics. Okay, if anyone asks you who is the father of economics, then your answer should be Adam Smith. Okay, let me give you one more example. If if a lawyer, okay, if a lawyer he comes to you and he say that I want to give you the service, I want to provide you the service for free of cost. Is it possible? Is it true? Is it very much realistic? No, it is not realistic. Why? Because you have to go to the lawyer and you have to pay for him. Okay, so then only he will provide you the service. So for service you have to give some amount of money, then only he will give you the service. So this is actually the concept of economic man. Ignore human welfare. Yeah, he ignored the aspect of human welfare. He did not talk about the welfare of society. Okay, he I mean according to Adam Smith, it was only about the accumulation of wealth and generation of wealth by any means. Okay, he didn't say that you don't you don't have to use unwanted means or the means which are illegal or whatever. Okay, you just earn the money, that's it. So it was his point of view, and he did not discuss about the important branches of economics. Okay, like economic planning, economic development. Okay, so he did not talk about those items. So uh, that's how we can see that Adam Smith's definition was only and only about wealth creation. Now let us see how Lionel Robbins' definition was criticized. So, first of all, we can see that unnecessary enlargement of the scope of economics. So Robbins' definition has unnecessarily widened the scope of economics. Okay, according to Robbins, any activity of choosing whether it is economic or not comes under the scope of economics. Okay, for example, if your mother she is cooking food for you, okay, then according to uh, Robbins, this is under the scope of economics. Now, how this uh, example or how this condition can be under the scope of economics, because your mother is cooking food for you, that's it, isn't it? So now she will not charge the cost of food. If your mother is cooking food for you, then it is out of the uh, love of mother, isn't it? She will not ask for money for giving you the food. So we can see that Robbins he has given too much emphasis on the enlargement of scope of economics. Okay, and the neutrality of ends. So now, in Robbins' view, it is the duty of the economist to explore and explain, and not and right to support or criticize. Thus, economics is neutral between ends, and economist is not concerned with what is right and what is wrong. But this view of Robbins is highly criticized. Now, again, this point is quite similar with our Adam Smith's definition, or the point or the aspect. This neutrality of ends means that whether it be a right method or wrong method, you just fulfill. Okay, you just fulfill and satisfy the human wants. So we all know that production of nuclear weapons is not good, isn't it? But still we are producing, we are promoting, okay, we are mining the uranium, and we are uh, more uh, you can say uh, investing our money for buying different types of weapons, okay, and ammunitions. Why? For the economic development. But this development is actually in a wrong direction, isn't it? uh, Production of nuclear weapons and other items are very wrong, and it is against the welfare of society. But yeah, in the other sense, this development of nuclear weapons and ammunitions are also required for the defense of one country. But it is completely a wrong example. Okay, so Robbins he has given this neutrality of ends. Okay, now let us move on to the next. Based on theoretical view, most of the times his view was only theoretical. Okay, it was not practical. Okay, the applicability of his theory was not realistic. Okay, so Robbins' view, there is no place for humanity, human welfare. Okay, he did not talk about much, and his definition, as you can see here, it lacks practicality. Okay, so we all know that theories are very good for economics. Okay, it seems very good when they are in book. Okay, but when you have to apply the same in the real life, then it becomes a problem, isn't it? So uh, his theory, Robbins' theory, is somewhere having the fallacy here that his uh, view was completely a theoretical view. Now, applicable only on a few countries. Now, okay, Robbins' definition is applicable in those countries where barter system exchange is prevalent. But in modern times, when we are uh, having a monetary system of exchange, this system it doesn't seem to sorry, this definition uh, doesn't seem to fit anywhere. Okay, and one more point, unrealistic assumption. Okay, Robbins he believed that each individual does only that activities from which he derives maximum satisfaction. But in practical life, we can see that individuals uh, who get more satisfaction are actually involved in such activities. Okay, for example, I will give you one example. uh, we all know that in the field of music and in the sports, there is no such a scope in India, isn't it? But still, individuals are indulged in those activities. Why? Because they get the maximum satisfaction. But Robbins is also talking about the maximum satisfaction, but this maximum satisfaction he is actually talking in the sense of wealth or money. Okay, but in the real life, these musicians, okay, and the sportsmen, they do not accumulate wealth, they do not create wealth, but for their personal satisfaction, for the psychological satisfaction, okay, for the mental satisfaction, they are actually indulged in these activities. Okay, now he also talked about fixed economic laws. Now, according to Robbins' definition, economic laws are as certain, okay, they are fixed, they are stable and true as the rules of natural sciences. It is not flexible. Okay, so again, Robbins' definition was criticized on this basis because economic laws and principles, they are variable. Okay, they are not uh, constant or fixed because these need to be changed from time to time. Okay, so we all know that in India, okay, since 1950, we had adopted 5-year plan in India. Okay, but when Modi government he came, he discontinued this 5-year plan and it was replaced by Niti Aayog. So if economic laws were to be fixed, then there should be no abolishment of the 5-year plan, isn't it? And also, there should be no case of demonetization in our country, isn't it? So, Robbins' definition only talks about the fixed economic laws, which is not practical. Now, let us see how Marshall's definition was criticized. Okay, now narrow concept of the subject. Now, see, Marshall he only talked about the welfare. Okay, maybe he talked in this sense that the definition, which was already given by Adam Smith and Lionel Robbins, Ricardo, it talks about the money and its accumulation and generation, and also about the scarcity. So he only talked about the welfare of society, but still his definition uh, has got the criticisms like you can see here only the this material goods, okay, are not only material items, isn't it? So his definition is a very much narrow concept of the subject. Okay, so he used this term material only to show the material items, okay, not the other items, which includes the services, okay, like the service of lawyers, dancers, teachers, doctors, engineers, and other professors. Okay, they also provide the services to you, isn't it? Like I am providing you the services, isn't it? So am I providing you a material or a physical service to you? No, I am not. Okay, so I am providing you basically a service. So Marshall's definition it lacked this. Okay, so his concept was very much narrow and constricted. Now, relationship between economics and welfare. So there are various other activities which do not boost human welfare but are looked as an economic activities. So these include manufacturing and sale of alcohol or opium, the drugs. So again, uh, this sale of alcohol and opium, these are actually the bad activities, isn't it? They should not be included in the economic activities, but still it is there present. So again, the definition is lacking in this point. Now, welfare is immeasurable. Welfare is a state of mind, and we all know that, okay, and cannot be quantitatively measured, okay, of its subjective nature, because the exact amount of welfare cannot be measured, and the satisfaction derived from the purchases, performances, and activities cannot be calculated in exact figures. Only assumptions can be made. Also, it differs from person to person, place to place, and from age to age. For instance, when two buddies purchase same good, it is impossible to identify or measure or even assume that how much welfare each is going to gain. But Marshall, he said that welfare can be measured. He said so. Okay, he said that welfare can be measured. So the utility. Okay, you will see in class 12, not in class 11. I don't know why this uh, our board, okay, CISC, they changed the syllabus. Okay, uh, I don't know why they do not keep microeconomics in class 11 as well, because it gives you more knowledge in depth. Okay, so I don't know. Okay, but still we have it, so we have to do anyway. Marshall, he talked about the measurement of welfare. Okay, we can measure the welfare. Okay, so how much satisfaction we are getting, it can be measured. So do you think it is measurable? Now, for example, uh, I give you something, okay, something to eat, okay, maybe let us say rice and rajma, okay, rajma and rice. So maybe all of you do not get the taste of food, okay. Maybe some of you do not like rice, maybe some of you do not like rajma, and the benefit out of it cannot be measured, and it cannot be equal, isn't it? So, can you say that by eating rajma and chawal, I got, let us say, 100 units of 100 percentage of satisfaction, and some of you say only 70% of satisfaction? How can you say so? Isn't it? It is not measurable. But Alfred Marshall, he said that it can be measured in terms of numbers. So, this is the area where he got criticized. Now, unpragmatic. So, this definition of welfare is theoretical in nature. It is not possible, okay, in the real life, and it is not also possible to divide man's activities into material and non-material activities, because in modern day world, whatever a man he does, okay, it is both material as well as non-material. So it is not possible to identify which items are material and which items are non-material, because whatever we do today are also uh, associated with material items. For example, I am providing you the service right now. Okay, this service is a non-material activity, isn't it? But I am providing you this service through a material activity, or through the means of material. If I had no this mobile phone, laptop, and other peripheral items, and you too from your side, if you do not have mobile phone with you or computer, laptop, can you get my service? No, you cannot get so, isn't it? So his definition is completely unpragmatic. Okay. Now, let us move on to a next topic, that is called the types of economy. Okay. We already know that by economy, we mean a system or arrangement in which the various goods and services are produced and distributed to the group of people for their satisfaction. Okay. So, mostly this economy or the system or arrangement can be classified on the two bases. I'm sorry, here it should have been B here. Okay, in the PDF I will try to make it correct, but I have already sent you it. I will resend, okay, by doing the correction. Anyway, we can have two types of classification of economy, that is based on the basis of degree of development and on the basis of nature of economic system. Now, on the basis of degree of development, economy can be classified as number one, developed economy, and number two, developing or underdeveloped economy. Okay. Now, point number B, on the basis of nature of economic system. Number one, capitalist economy, or capitalism economy, or you can say market economy. Okay, and number two, socialist, socialism, or centrally planned economy. Okay, and number three is mixed economy. Okay, now this mixed economy, it actually combines both the aspects of capitalist as well as socialist. Okay, but I will not go in depth of this things, uh, because I don't know whether we have to go in depth about this, because I saw the syllabus. Uh, there was no such stress about it. Okay, so if you want to have a look at this type of economy, I have already made a video, so I will provide you the link. Okay, but please ask me or remind me about this in WhatsApp group. Okay, I have made a video already on this topic, so I will provide you the link. Okay, so now let us move on about the types of economics that we have to study. Okay, now economics is classified into two categories. Okay, one is called microeconomics and the other one is called macroeconomics. Okay, so let me take you to World War I. Okay, no, no, no. Okay, come back. Come to 1929 or 1930, you can say. Okay, now till 1929 or 1930, uh, economics was only an economics. Okay, there was no such branch of economics. Okay, and after 1930, okay, something happened in 1930, and after that economics was categorized into two categories, that is microeconomics and macroeconomics. Now if we see the classical economical theories, okay, it was basically a microeconomics. Okay, so something happened in 1930, so after that uh, British economist called J.M. Keynes, he wrote a book called General Theory of Interest and Employment. After that, the economics was now categorized into two categories. You can say after his book came in the market, there was a new type of economics. Okay, and that type of economics is called as macroeconomics. So J.M. Keynes is known as the father of macroeconomics. Okay, now if anyone asks you who is the father of economics, your answer should be Adam Smith. Okay, he is the father of economics. But if you are asked by someone that who is the father of macroeconomics, then your answer should be J.M. Keynes. Okay, now let us see these two definitions. Okay, let us see one by one. As the name suggests, micro. Okay, micro means to see the economics by putting in the microscope. Okay, just to see only one side, a small unit or part of the entire economics. Okay, so I don't want to discuss about the definition given here. It is already out there. Okay, you can see and read. Uh, Let me give you one more example. What is microeconomics actually? Okay, we must have seen elephant, isn't it? So elephant is a big animal, isn't it? So if we are only studying about its trunk or its eye or its tail or its ear, okay, either side of the ear, okay, either left ear or right side ear, if we are only studying about one of its leg, then it is actually called microeconomics. Okay, studying only one aspect of economics is known as microeconomics. So in economics we talk about the taxation. Okay, if we are talking about the GST, let us suppose that, okay, GST combines various types of taxes. It includes uh, custom and other taxes also, but it should be noted that VAT is also VAT is not included till now. Okay, so if you are talking about income tax, okay, income tax is a separate tax which is not under GST. GST is actually an indirect tax. Okay, in India there are two types of taxes known as direct tax and indirect tax. So income tax is your direct tax, and the other taxes like sales tax, value added tax, okay, GST, custom and excise duties, all these are your indirect taxes. So if you are studying about only one type of tax, then it is called microeconomics. Okay, now okay, we have Axis Bank in Kalimpong, isn't it? So if we study only about one particular branch of Axis Bank. Okay, if we only study about the, let us say, if we want to study about the NPA, okay, the non-performing asset of Axis Bank Kalimpong branch, then it is treated as microeconomics. Okay, if we want to study about the petroleum consumption pattern of the people of Kalimpong, okay, then it becomes microeconomics. Okay, but uh, in contrast, macroeconomics is just the opposite. Okay, macroeconomics, it deals about the entire economy. Okay, so by economy, it should be also known to you that by economy we also mean a physical place or location. Okay, so we already know by definition that economy is a system or an arrangement of goods and services and etc. But economy, it should be also treated as a physical place or a location like Siliguri, Kalimpong, Bhutan, okay, Sikkim, okay, Kolkata, this West Bengal, okay, Jalpaiguri. These all are your economies. Okay, so Kalimpong is one economy, Siliguri is one economy. So now if we combine all these economy together, we form one large country that is called India, isn't it? So India is one country and India can be regarded as an economy. So if we are studying about the system of India, okay, if we are studying about the economic system of India, then it becomes macroeconomy. Okay, so in macroeconomics, we talk about the economic growth. Okay, we talk about the inflation. Okay, and the deflation. We talk about the GDP. You must have heard about this term GDP. GDP. Okay, our GDP's growth is going down, isn't it? So what will happen? And we also have discussed in various topics. Okay, and you must have seen many news channels, they are also discussing about the unemployment situation in India. So it is actually talking about the macroeconomics. Okay, so by microeconomics we mean an form of economics in which we will only discuss about the one aspect of particular economy. Okay, in this microeconomics we will only discuss about one particular business house. If we are only discussing about the geo, let us say we are talking about the geo. Okay, so then it is called microeconomics because we are only talking about the geo. Okay, but if we are to talk about or discuss about the entire network distributors of India, then it becomes the macroeconomy, which will involve your Geo, okay, Bharti Airtel, then Vodafone Idea will be involved, and then this Tata Indicom will also be involved here. Okay, so various types of things are there. Okay, which we will discuss in the video session also. I want to keep it for that. Okay, now let us see here the difference between microeconomics and macroeconomics. Okay, now this difference, I don't want to go in depth. Okay, I just wanted to make it very much pictorial, and I have taken this from economicshelp.org. You can see the link here. Okay, www.economicshelp.org. So I have taken this picture from this website. Okay, so now let us see the basic differences between microeconomics and macroeconomics. Okay, now the microeconomics, it talks about individual market. Okay, as I already said that if we discuss only about the Axis Bank or geo of a particular region, then it is actually a study of microeconomics. But if we talk about the entire economy, okay, if we talk about the entire nation, then it becomes macroeconomics. Okay, now in microeconomics we can see effect on price of a good. Okay, for example, let us take petrol. Okay. Now petrol's price has increased. Okay, it has crossed 84 plus. Okay, so what will be the impact of the price level of petrol on the people of Kalimpong? If we study about this particular phenomena, then it will be the study of microeconomics. Okay, but if we talk about the general price level, okay, then it is called the study of macroeconomics. If we study about the rise in price of all the commodities, okay, not only petroleum, but about other commodities also, okay, then it is called the study of macroeconomics. Now, inflation. Okay, there are two items here, inflation and deflation. So, by inflation, we mean about the sudden increase in price of commodities. Okay, if the price of all the commodities, if it increases all of a sudden, then it is called inflation. Okay, and if the prices of commodities they decrease all of a sudden, then it is called deflation. Now, right now, we can say that price of petroleum is inflated. It is increased. Okay, but if the price of petroleum it goes down, let us say from 84 it goes to 75. Okay, 75, 74, then it is called deflation or deflated. Okay, now again in microeconomics we discuss about individual labor market. Okay, if we are talking about the labor market of Kalimpong, how many people are employed, how many people are unemployed. Okay, now again whoever are employed, so in what sectors they are employed. Okay, some may be teachers, some may be government employees, some may have a business. Okay, some may do other types of business activities. So this is actually the study of microeconomics, because we are only studying about one particular market. Okay, but if we are talking about the entire countries or the entire nations uh, labor market, then it becomes the study of employment and unemployment, or also it becomes the system of underemployment. Okay, so it becomes a study of macroeconomics. Now, if we are discussing only about individual consumer behavior. Okay, now about only the individual consumer behavior. Okay, let me give you again the same example of petroleum. Okay, so now if we are only discussing about the consumer behavior of petrol. Okay, whoever consume petrol, we are only discussing about them. Okay, what is the impact of consumer on the rise of price of petrol? Okay, if we are studying about this, then it will be treated as individual consumer behavior, and it falls under the category of microeconomics. But if we are discussing about the aggregate demand, okay, by aggregate demand we mean the sum total demand in an economy, okay, in a country, then it is called macroeconomics. So in aggregate demand, we will not only discuss about the petrol, but we will discuss about the demand of other various commodities, including food items, okay, clothings, okay, petrol, of course, and medicines, okay, infrastructure, education, okay, life insurance policies, everything. So when we sum up these all these demands, then it becomes aggregate demand, and it falls under the category of macroeconomics. Okay, and in microeconomics we also study about only the supply of good. Okay, that is only one type of good. Okay, not various types of goods, but only one type of good, then it is the field of microeconomics. But if we study about the productive capacity of economy, okay, then it is the field of macroeconomics. Yeah, you must have noticed that when explaining things, many things are going above your head, maybe. because these things, okay, each things like inflation, employment, unemployment, I also talked about underemployment, okay, aggregate demand. Yeah, these things are there, and these things will be discussed in class 12. But if you want to know, okay, then please let me know in WhatsApp group. I will try to solve your questions. Now let us see the relationship between microeconomics and macroeconomics. I didn't go in this theoretical explanation here. I just wanted to make you understand by a picture. So let us understand. Okay, so what is the relationship between microeconomics and macroeconomics? Okay, now we all know that in microeconomics we study about individual market. Okay, so we are only studying about the study of consumer behavior. Okay, we are studying about the behavior of producers. Okay, we are studying about the morphology of market. Then it is the field of microeconomics. As you can see here, all these three items: study of consumers behavior, study of producers behavior, study of market morphology. Okay, all these three items, it falls under the category of microeconomics. Okay, so in study of consumers behavior, we study about the supply and demand of various goods and services. Okay, and in study of producers behavior, we see the supply. Okay, and we talk about the production mechanism. Okay, we also see the production function. Okay, how the producers, they make supply of various goods and services, how they produce. Okay, what type of production mechanism they use either labor intensive or capital intensive. Okay, and study of market morphology means actually the definition of I mean the classification of markets. Okay, whether the market is a monopoly market or a duopoly market or a perfect competition market or oligopolistic market. Okay, so if we study about these things, then it is called microeconomics. But all these studies, it helps to understand the national income and the uh, unemployment. It helps to study about the entire nation's market. Okay, now let me give you one simple example. Okay, let us study about the states. Okay, let us suppose that studying about states is a field of microeconomics. Okay, now we will study about a particular state: West Bengal, okay, Jharkhand, Uttarakhand, uh, Uttar Pradesh, okay, Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh, okay, Rajasthan, Gujarat, Haryana, Punjab. Okay, uh, and moving towards south. Oh, we forgot Madhya Pradesh. Okay, so Odisha, okay, Manipur, Meghalaya, Nagaland. So if we study about the different states of our country, then it will be the field of microeconomics. Okay, and we will gather all the information. Okay, and we sum up all these information together. Okay, we compile them to be one, and then it actually adds to the field of macroeconomics. So it is very much important for us to understand these both types of economics. Okay, before we understand the concept of macroeconomics, it is very much important for us to understand the concept of microeconomics. Okay, that is why we study microeconomics at first, and then we move on to macroeconomics. Okay, still if you have any doubts, please let me know. Okay, the WhatsApp group is already available. Okay, so what we studied, okay, what are the key points of this particular chapter? First, we saw the terminological differences between economics, economy, and economic. Okay, then we saw the evolution of economic thoughts. Okay, how the economy was derived from ancient times. Okay, and then we saw the definitions by some economists and their criticism. Okay, then we saw the types of economy. Okay, and then we saw the types of economics and their definitions. Okay, after that we saw the difference between microeconomics and macroeconomics, and ultimately we saw the relationship between microeconomics and macroeconomics. Okay, and still if you have any doubts, repeatedly I am saying, feel free to use the this WhatsApp group, okay, and list down your queries, okay, so that the same can be sorted out in the video session. Thank you.